Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. Welcome to the Student World Spotlight. As we've been saying, every Tuesday, we welcome all of you here at this very same time to put on the spotlight a different institution or destination, show you 360 view of a place or an institution. In this case today, we're very happy to put in the spotlight a very, very nice destination. Voted the favorite by over 18,000 more or less international students in recent years. I'm talking about the city of Montreal, located in the beautiful province of Quebec in Canada. So stay tuned. And while we wait for more people to jump in, we have already 116 people watching this live. We're broadcasting now live to YouTube and to Facebook. So we're very happy to have you all here, guys. But yeah, so today on the Student World Spotlight, we're going to show you the city of Montreal. And as I mentioned, the city was voted the best city to study by international students in recent years. Now we have a video that's gonna explain you the reasons why Montreal was the chosen one.
We gathered responses from students and prospective students about what they thought about the world's best student cities. They're really excited by London and New York and Paris and these big cities that have got a lot to offer. But when we look at the student review, those expectations are not necessarily being met. There's a general sense that those cities are a little bit more impersonal. So that's the main place where Montreal has gained a lot of ground.
It's not super big. There's like that sense of community.
Quelque chose de cool, de détendu, où il n'y a pas forcément de jugement.
Un endroit agréable à vivre parce que les gens sont ouverts.
Everybody here is very friendly and the environment is just very intimate.
Let's examine in detail why those students have rated Montreal so highly. 5 key themes. First, it's a beautiful city. Architecturally, environmentally, the whole city is seen as very attractive. Second, it's affordable. Particularly rents have been mentioned, but also other aspects. Third, the quality of institutions. They are all very well ranked. Fourth, the scene, arts, culture, the nightlife, things that students want to do. And finally, the multiculturalism that stems from that makes Montreal seem like a very welcoming international city.
I choose Montreal indeed. Guys, before we go on, and I invite the amazing guests that will be talking about Montreal today, I just want to ask for your feedback. So we have two options here on YouTube. You can give us a like in case you're enjoying this live show, or you can give it a dislike in case you're thinking the kind of content we're providing here is not very useful, not very nice to you, right? Again, at the Student World, our main goal here is to help you find the right study abroad destination, and we hope that that can be today, because again, Montreal is an amazing place. But now someone that knows a lot more about Montreal than myself, let me invite to the stage here Eugenie and Marine. Hello, Eugenie. Hello, Marine. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Thank you for receiving us. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks. It's a pleasure to have you here at the Student World Spotlight. Guys, again, we're here to showcase a full 360 view of this amazing city called Montreal, right? But before we do that, why don't you start introducing a little bit about yourself? And here you're representing, at least Eugenie is representing I Choose Montreal. Maybe a chance for you to explain what is I Choose Montreal and how it can help international students.
Great. Yeah, for sure. So my name is Jenny. I do work with Marine actually. So we are both working for I Choose Montreal ou Je Choisis Montréal in French. So you can visit our website at any time. It's www.ichoosemontreal.com. But what we do, I Choose Montreal is an initiative that has been developed by Montreal International and the government of Quebec with the educational institution within Greater Montreal. And what we do is that we promote the study opportunities in Greater Montreal. And if you ever choose Montreal as your future study destination, we also have colleagues that are organizing local activities for free so that you can know the city, make friends, get to know about the work opportunity, and get more about immigration information.
Cool. And Marine, you are an international student. You're from France. You're experienced what it's like to study in Montreal, right?
Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Marine, and I'm French, and I came after high school to study in Montreal at university. So I can talk to you a little bit about that during this live.
Amazing. Guys, again, we are tracking all the messages that you send it to us here on the chat. So please feel free to send your questions. We'll address them. Don't let us be like talking without any interactions, without any engagement. Join us today. Send your questions, send your participation. We'll put your name here. And this way we can make this live way more informative and useful for all of you. All right, Eugenie, all right, Marine, are you ready?
Yeah.
Cool. So why don't we start actually talking a little bit, exploring the city of Montreal, right? The first question I have here, actually before the question, Montreal was voted recently, as I mentioned on the opening, as the best city for international students, right, to study in. My first question to you, Eugenie, is why do you think Montreal was voted the best, and what makes this city such an amazing choice for international students?
I think I can give you many answers to that question, but I think from my personal perspective, and probably Marine's also, it's really a lively city. It's really vibrant and cultural. There's always something to do. It's an international city also. And so it's a metropolis that is close to the US border, within a French-speaking province, within an English-speaking country. So it's really rich in the sense where there's a lot of people coming from all over the world, and there's always something great happening within the city.
Yeah. Now you, Marine, as a student yourself, why do you think that what makes Montreal the #1 for international students?
First of all, I think Montreal has a lot of universities, so you have a lot of choices, depending on what you want to study, which is really cool. Also, as there is many universities, there is a lot of students and a lot of international students. Actually, Montreal is a super multicultural city where everyone comes from somewhere around the planet, so it's really cool, like, to meet people from everywhere around the world. And as Eugenie said, yeah, there is a lot of activities. It's super safe. It's super convenient to live here. Everything is easy. So yeah, I completely fell in love with Montreal, and now I'm gonna stay here forever.
Yay. Guys, for all of you that are watching us today, can you put it here if you actually have been already to Montreal, if you know the city, and what you like the most? And if you haven't been to Montreal, put it here. What is the thing that you have heard about the city? And maybe we can ask Eugenie and Marine here to see if it's true or a myth. All right. So please put it here on the chat. Okie dokie, guys. So yeah, so I also, Montreal, Eugenie, is considered the Canada's capital for culture. Like, what do you think? Like, what kind of culture activities and entertainment international students can enjoy?
Well, there's a lot of festivals. You might have heard about the Igloo Fest, which is a winter festival where people dress up and go dance outside when it's cold, but enjoyable. There's the Jazz Fest, which is pretty big, and also the Francophonie. And what I like also is there's a lot of different music festivals from around the world. So I think it's always really great to actually get to know other cultures. And for people that are really into the food scene, we have a lot of restaurants, and we're really known for our food scene.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna ask you guys a question here. Do you know what is the traditional plate, the traditional food from Montreal? If you know, can you put the answer here? We're gonna share in a bit. All right. Okay, so what about you, Marina? What's your favorite? Like, what was the best like festival you've joined there so far? I know COVID made that kind of things a little difficult, but were you able to, to enjoy that part of the city as well?
Yeah, so as Eugenie said, there is a lot of festivals, also a lot of concerts. And what I really like is that some museums, concert, festival, a lot of them are actually free, which is really cool because, when you're a student, you're on a budget. So I really like the fact that you can enjoy the city because a lot of activities are free and just like outside, you just walk in and, enjoy the festival. So I think that's something really cool because, yeah, you can do a lot of things without spending a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eugenie, we got already the right answer here in the chat. Did you see it? A lot of people say, yes, guys. I think is it poutine?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Very
really
well.
Good actually, guys.
A lot of people, David Valero, Diane Zucker, Rodrigo Galicia. A lot of people got it right. That's true, guys. It's poutine. How do you like poutine, Marine?
Yeah, if you want a fun fact, when I came here, I like first tried poutine and I was like, it doesn't look nice, because it's just like fries and cheese and gravy sauce. But then, my friends were like, no, you have to try. And then I tried it and then I was like, oh my God, it's so good.
When do people actually eat that? Is it like a brunch, Sunday brunch kind of food, or or it's like after you go out the nightclub and then
yeah.
Yeah, that's all year long. Even if it's heavy, you can eat it in summer. It's okay, but it's mostly after a great party. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. Okay, fair enough. All right, moving on. We're getting a lot of questions here. I'm very happy to hear this. Israel send you a one. Paul Cardozo send me another. Guys, we're gonna get to those questions in a minute. But now I wanted to ask, because one of the things that here in the audience, we're getting people from Brazil, from Latin America, from Africa, India, a lot of all over basically. And not everybody speaks French, right, fluently. And we've been getting like some concerns from the students that are not fluent in French. How is it like? Is it necessary to be fluent in French to live in Montreal, or everybody speaks English and they're okay with speaking English? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So you can study in French or in English in Montreal. So do not worry if you only come here with English. So Montreal is a bilingual city. Actually, more than half of its population speak French and English. So you can get your way around the city speaking only English. People will answer and talk to you in English, not worry. If you ever think about staying longer, like long term, let's say forever, just like Marianne, you'll have to learn some French because it will be asked to you by the government of Quebec. So I would say take advantage of this moment to be in Montreal and surround yourself by francophones and make French friends and do learn it. It's a really cool language.
Absolutely. And Marine, how do you think that the fact that Montreal is a bilingual city actually enhance the experience of the student?
I think it's great because you can practice in both languages, and as Eugene said, like if you only speak English, it's very easy like to learn French. You don't necessarily have to take courses because people speak French everywhere in the city, in the street. So I think that's really cool, and that brings the fact that Montreal is bilingual that brings, people from everywhere, because basically everyone speaks either English or French. So I really like the fact that, in Montreal, you can meet people from every country. And I have friends that come from Brazil, from Africa, from a lot of, foreign cultures. And I love that we can share everything. So, discover new culture just, without traveling, just staying in the city.
Absolutely. And yeah, getting to that question, how Canada, by the way, Canada has like amazing places to go, right? It's not only Montreal, it's Vancouver, Toronto, like from all the way from Vancouver to the East Coast. How would you say, Eugene, Montreal differs from these other cities?
I think the fact that we're francophones, it gives us our own culture. We're really kind of unique in our culture, in our sense, and we're really proud of it also. And I've heard often, and Marine, you can probably agree, that Montreal is a kind of mix between European culture and North American culture. So you can find some old vibe with a really new and modern industrial vibe too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a right balance between North America and Europe. So, you have like the small cafe when you can you feel like you're in France, but at the same time, it's a huge city with like big buildings, which is more like New York, or So depending where you walk, like in the city, you feel like you're in Europe or in a big North America city. So I think it's really cool.
Cool.
And another thing that is also really enjoyable is that Montreal is like designed on a human scale. So there's a lot of different neighborhoods. So it's really kind of it's vibrant. It's really vibrant.
It's super vibrant, and there are people from all over, like all different cultures, right? You're going to be interacting, like you go on the streets in the city center, you hear like all kinds of languages. This is a truly amazing experience. Eugenie, when voted the best city in the by international students, Montreal scored very highly in some particular aspect, which was affordability, friendliness, and diversity, right? Let's go one by one here. Affordability, what compared to other Canadian cities, or even like to other big the main like options in the US, like New York or Florida or California, is it Montreal is really a more affordable place to live?
Yes. In comparison to the US, yes, we're really affordable, especially rent wise. So you can actually find a housing that is decent and affordable, even on the tuition fees side. Also, in comparison to American Ivy Leagues, we have a really high quality education that is cheaper, which is great. And we have on our website something called a student cost comparator, when you can get into that and compare Montreal to other big cities around the world. And there's like 5 devices in there. And you can do the experience of comparing how Montreal is cheaper than other big cities.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, by the way, we just put the link here on the screen, guys. I'm also going to ask my team to put it on the chat as well. But don't click it now, because if you're on your smartphone, then you're going to miss the rest of this live. But yeah, this is a great link for you to save it and compare as well. Marine, from your perspective, when you first arrived there, like, were you aware of more or less the average cost of living or everything, or were you like pleasant surprise with them, or it was actually one of the reasons why you chose Montreal in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. The first reason is the students' fee, because they were really like affordable. I mean, comparing to a lot of more expensive European universities that I considered. So it was one of the reasons. Also, if you want to enjoy, I mean, when you're studying, you want to go out, you want to go to restaurants, you want to do stuff. You just don't want to study. So I think it was really important, to be in a city where I can actually enjoy all these things while being a student, and I mean, being on a budget and don't have a salary. Also, I think it's really cool that you don't spend a lot on your rent, because it's just like in so many cities, it's just so expensive. And I actually, when I moved in, I have very nice apartment, like really big. I was so impressed. I mean, for the price that I paid, how big it was compared to like Paris, where it's so small and you have a huge rent. So that was, yeah, really something that made me fall in love even more with Montreal.
Amazing. In the other good thing, guys, is that different from some other cities, especially in the U.S., that some of the biggest universities are actually in the city center of Montreal, right? So
Yeah.
they're not like outside in the outskirts of the city. It's very easy. So I want to ask, I want to approach this aspect, which is like getting around the city, because especially if people or if those folks out here, they are comparing to like going to the US, for example, where you need a car to go everywhere. How is getting around Montreal like?
I think it's really easy because we have a great public transportation system. You can use the subway to go pretty much everywhere. You can use the bus. You can even rent a bike. We have like public rental, like bike rental, like a little bit all over the city. And if you ever want to go outside of the city, because at one point you'll want to do that, and to take advantage of the outdoor, just go to the US and or other, like to go to other cities within the province of Quebec, you can also rent a car, which is pretty easy to do.
Yeah, how was your? Did you use like were you living away from far away from the university you were studying, Marine? Can you share a little bit about like your day by day, your commute?
Yeah, sure. So I was actually living like 5 minutes away from my university.
Oh my God!
I just wanted to be close, but it's really cool because I came from Europe, so obviously here I didn't know anyone who had a car, so I was just taking the subway or the buses for everything. I mean, groceries, everything, and we with the metro we can basically go everywhere. It's really safe. Like even at night, I always take like the last metro, go home by myself. As a woman, I never felt unsafe doing that, which is not something that I can say about like Paris, for instance. So that's something really important for me. So, I want to enjoy the city. I want to be able to move by myself, do things, without having to buy a car, having the expenses. So yeah, and transportation is really good, I think.
I have to say that was something that I personally wouldn't like value a lot, but I moved recently to Amsterdam, and here we can bike everywhere, and it really makes a difference, right? You'll be able to like to go anywhere, everywhere, at whatever time. It's a really like freedom, right? That we get. Guys, another thing that people mistakenly, think of Canada and Montreal is that it snows all year long. Is that true or myth, Eugenie?
It's a myth, actually. it can get cold, of course, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, winter is cold. You have to have the right clothing, but we don't live on the ground. You have to go outside and enjoy the weather. There's also always something to do. You can go skiing, snowshoeing, skating, and our summers are really warm. Look at Megan, she's wearing like a little dress. Like it's really warm right now outside. So no, don't be afraid of the weather, guys. Really, you have to enjoy it, embrace it, and there's always something to do.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and just to point it out before I pass on to you, Marine, we have a question coming in from one of our audience here, Deborah, and she's actually asking what are the activities people can do in the winter, which is like would be like the even in the winter there's lots of things to do, right? So can you add that to your answer, please?
Yeah, so just if you want a little anecdotes, I'm a summer person. Like before coming to Canada, I hated winter. I was like, that's the only thing, I think I'm not gonna like about Montreal. But actually, when I came to Montreal, it's a very different winter from what I knew before. Because here, it's. I mean, you have snow everywhere. It's white, and it's actually sunny, which is, you don't have cloudy, rainy days. It's just like bright blue sky and the sun. So I think it's really, good for your mood. So, and you have actually a lot of activities to do in Montreal in winter, maybe as much as in summer. We have a huge park called Montreal Park, which is like in the city of almost in the city center, like in the city of Montreal. And you can just go there by metro or bus. It's really convenient, and it's huge. Like, you go in that park, you don't feel like you're in Montreal anymore. You can ski, you can ice skate. I mean, you can do so many activities there in winter, and I was really impressed by that because, usually when you want to ski, you have to go like drive an hour at least out of the city, but here not. So that's like one example of some activities that you can do, but I mean, there's so many. It's just so cool.
Yeah, this is by the way the reaction from the person who sent the question. So this, you can see she's very happy and excited. But guys, just a quick thing here. I'm tracking the chat here. I see that there are lots of questions coming up. We haven't addressed them yet. There are many questions coming regarding programs as well. If they're in English, they're in French. All of these questions I see here, even some people are helping answering them, like Jessica, thanks a lot. But we will get to them. We are dividing this live into different sections. We're first approaching the city, the destination itself, and then we're gonna get into the education part, which we're going to talk about the institutions, we're going to talk about the programs, the requirements, and so on. Okay, so it's not that I'm ignoring the questions. I am seeing them right here. My team is sending me that to the right here to my they're telling me constantly, so I'm gonna get to them, don't worry. But just to be clear, in Montreal you have the 4 different seasons, right? Very clear. Cool. Yeah, that's very nice.
And I think that fall marvelous. Like, when you see the color of the leaves changing, I know it's a little cliche, but guys, it's really cute.
Very well. All right. So getting to the end of this first block, this first part, I mean, there are so many things I wanted to ask about Montreal and the city, the diversity and so on. But because of the time, we need to get going. But again, guys, at the end, we're going to put here on the screen the contact information from Eugenie. So if you have more questions, if you want to ask her directly about things related to studying in Montreal, you'll be able to do so after the live. Okay, moving on now. Oh, before we move on to the next, we move on to the education. The final question is, what advice do you guys have for international students who want to adapt to the local culture and become more integrated? Because that's actually a big concern, right? Many people, when they're like, studying abroad is amazing, right? We all love it, but it doesn't mean that we don't get anxious, right, before we go. Yeah. Many of us actually, it starts like picturing, oh my God, am I going to be able to adapt? How's the beginning going to be like? What advice can you give to those that hopefully will be going to study in Montreal soon?
I think, like, mostly your future school will take great care of you. You'll get a lot of different links about group chat of students, and they will be there to answer your questions. You'll have some videos or advices or tips to get ready to the cold or not. You'll see. So do not hesitate to go and ask your future school to help you out. But they're used to it. They're gonna take great care of you. Marianne, how did you experience your arrival?
It was really cool. I mean, even like when I arrived at the airport, people were really, really friendly. Like Canadian people living in Montreal, they are really friendly. I mean, they see you like in the metro with a map, like being lost. Some people like approached me. They were like, "Oh, are you lost? Are you trying to find something?" I was so surprised because like friends and people do that. I'm like, what do you want? But here you just want to help. It's just friendly. And as we said earlier, everyone comes from somewhere here. It's so multicultural. So, people are so welcoming because, you're saying, oh, I'm from Brazil. And there are a lot of chances that the person you're talking to is from another country as well, or her or his family is from another country. So people are really like open-minded, and it's really easy to be part of the Montreal life. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, guys, now let's move on to the next part of the slide. We're going to be starting to approach now the education side. So, Eugenie, can you start like giving us an overview of the education scenery in Montreal?
Yeah, so Montreal is the Canada's post-secondary capital in the sense that we have a lot of study offer. Like we have 11 universities within Greater Montreal. We have more than 50 colleges that we call cégep. We have more than 60 vocational training centers. So let's say that you can pretty much study whatever you want to study in Greater Montreal. And there's also specialized school, for example, engineering, business school. You can study in French or in English, as I mentioned. Some institutions also offer bilingual or trilingual programs also that can be pretty nice to follow. There's some French and English educational institutions. So we have a lot going on study-wise in Montreal.
Amazing. And so just to clarify, because we got a lot of questions earlier on about this. So you have the option to study some programs in English. You can study some programs in French, right? And you can go to universities, as Eugenie mentioned, there are 11 currently in Montreal, but you can also study other programs such as like language programs. You want to go learn French, for instance, at a language school. So So Marine, where are you studying, by the way?
So I've been here for a while. So my first university was HEC Montreal, which is a business school, and this school offered courses in English and French. So I did both, and now I'm doing my master degree at University of Sherbrooke, which is another university. And my courses right now are in French. So I tested like 2 universities. I'm really satisfied with both. I recommend 100%.
Amazing. And also, like as you pointed out earlier, Eugenie, the quality of education in Canada and more, and like even in Montreal also, right? It's outstanding. I mean, those 11 universities, some of them are ranked like top 100 in the world. Like it's very, very good quality. What can you say, like, in terms of it? Many people actually ask, oh, is it because it's so much more affordable than in other places, but yet the quality of the degree is so high?
Yeah, I think I would leave Marine answer because I think it's really interesting what you have to say about like the style of education and also like the ranking, because you might think, oh, I'll go for the highest, like the highest university on the ranking, but in Montreal or even in Quebec or in Canada, you'll see that they're all equally great. So how do you choose the right one for you?
Yeah, it's like, I think in Europe, I mean, in France, we like rankings. So we are always looking for which is the number 1 university and the number 2 university, which is, I mean, in France, we have like, we rank every university. So of course, when I came here, I was like, which one is the best? But actually now, like being here for 5 years, it's not like some university. I mean, all universities are equally good. I mean, frankly, I'm not lying while I say this. It's just, it depends what you want to study. So like, first, in which language you want to study. So, if you want to study in English, that will be in McGill and Concordia, for instance. And then what subject you want to study, because, some universities are specialized in some subjects, and like mine, HEC Montreal, was specialized in business. So yeah, so that's for, the ranking stuff. But also, what I really like about studying here is that you can be really close, like, to your teachers. They are really open, like, to share their experience, their network with you. Like, if you're looking for an internship, or if you're just curious about, his or her career before being a teacher, a lot of them work at the same time, so it's really interesting. And you can create your own schedule. I mean, you don't have classes like every day, the whole day. It's just like you have a class on Monday afternoon, and then you can have a class on Wednesday. So you just create your own schedule, and at the same time you can work, you can do an internship, you can do like a lot of other things. So it's really convenient, open. Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, yeah. The fact, like, you can build your own, like, because for some people, like, some people prefer to study in the morning, some people prefer to study in the afternoon, and some other people wants to get like an internship, as you mentioned. So the fact that you have the freedom to actually build it the way it works best for you, that truly enhances your experience. That's amazing. And it already like boosted a lot of questions here coming up from in the chat, but we'll get to them. Guys, I think this is a great opportunity actually for us to show those 147 people that are watching us right now how they can actually look for programs in Montreal. Is that correct, Eugenie?
Yeah, it's great. We have developed something called Study Connect, or Connexion Études in French. So it's a tool that's going to help you out to find the right
So guys, pay attention now, because we're going to show you this amazing tool from I Choose Montreal that allows you to look for programs in Montreal, look for institutions in Montreal. You can use it as for free, correct, Eugenie?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted for a little while. So you can see my screen right now. Hopefully you can
let's
see
take a look at that.
So you'll see that when you get on our website, so ichoosemontreal.com, you'll see a little blue button called Study Connect. So it aims at helping you find the right educational institution for you according to what you want to study, your needs, your interest. So I'm not going to go through all of it because it's going to be a little long, but I mean, at the beginning, they ask you for your personal info, let's say name, contacts, phone number, email address. Then you have to mention how is your level of French and English. Don't be shy. It's okay. And they will ask you what you did in the past, if you're done with school for the moment and you want to pursue or go back to school, or what you're currently studying, what level, what field of study. And later on, let's say from this moment, we will ask you what are your plans in Montreal City. So decide to study in French or in English or even both. We will ask you what level you're considering in Montreal. So let's say that you're thinking about doing a master's degree because you're already doing a bachelor degree, so you're already going undergraduate studies.
Can I just stop you just for a second there, because there's a lot of, like, I think it's good for us to clarify, if you can go back to the type of programs, because we have people joining us from many different parts of the world, and some people get confused on what undergraduate degrees are, what graduate degrees, postgraduate degrees. So can you just like briefly explain those options there?
Yes. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, you can take different paths of study in Montreal. So let's say you want to do some vocational studies. It's one of the options. You can go and study in vocational training center and learn a trade and go to the job market right after, for example. You can also decide to do something called college or cégep in French. So these are pre-university studies of 2 years, or a technical study degree of 3 years that lead you to the university or the job market right after. And there's the classical university path, which is undergrad. So let's say you want to study a bachelor degree, which is the first degree of the university university cycle. And then there's the master's degree of 1 or 2 years, and the doctorate degree is the PhD degree that is of 5 years.
Amazing, cool.
So at this moment, you have to select what kind of study you want to pursue in Montreal. So you have 3 choices, up to 3 choices. You can only take one if you already have your mindset on something. So I don't know if you can see the whole menu, but let's say you decide to do engineering, and then you decide to do something else, let's say arts and human sciences. And for each of them, you can select more specific fields. So let's say chemical engineering, animation for video games, and finally history. So you can also enter at what moment you want to start your studies. So for us, it would be fall. So let's say at September. And let's say in 2022, which is next year, and you will get the suggestions of all the schools in Montreal City that offer your the 3 choices that you did earlier. So you can see that there's a little color. You can know if it's offered in French or in English, and the color are related to the 3 fields of study that you have selected in the past at the other step before. So you can actually select the schools that you're interested in, let's say all of them, and then press submit.
Amazing. Like really, like this is I've seen a lot of platforms out there from like either government agencies or something, but yours looks so good. It's like super user friendly, isn't it, guys? Like I really like it. It is perfect.
Great.
Yeah, and it's free. I mean, you can go there. By the way, we just put in the link here. My dear colleagues here put in the chat, so the link is there. So after this live, you can go and play around, put some the programs that you're looking for, the level of studies that you're looking for, and take a look at some of the options out there. Did you use them? Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to remind you that it's not an admission submission platform, in the sense that even if you select the university at the end, it's not an admission that you're doing. It's more like of a browser that can help you and guide you to select and know what institutions best suit your needs.
Yep, love it. And Maureen, did you use that to find the program? Was it available at your time?
No, it's brand new, so I had to do it the old-fashioned way, going on each university website. But I wish I had this tool, because it's really convenient. You just have a list of all the university you can apply to. It's awesome.
Oh, by the way, isn't that the best combo? You have a live like this, the student world, with these amazing people that show you all the options in Montreal, and then you have that platform from I Choose Montreal, which, by the way, you can create this hashtag already, guys. I Choose Montreal. Okay, let's make it like a top hashtag worldwide. But it's a great combo to get the information you need to study in Montreal. But moving on to the next question here. There are some questions coming up about scholarships. We'll get to that later. Omelette, who else? Eric, Jimena, Fernanda, a lot of people contributing here. Amazing. The next question is, what are the most popular programs that students choose to study in Montreal?
It is a little hard to say, but we can say that 75% of all the international students that come to study in Montreal are in this STEAM sector. So they have chosen to study in sciences, technologies, engineering, or mathematics.
Cool. Amazing. And okay, now I wanted to get to, because this is another question that pops up quite frequently here. The average like tuition cost in terms of either for a bachelor's or a postgrad. What can you share in terms of that?
The cost and the tuition fees can vary according to the program, the school, also the level of studies, the study that you're doing. But it's for an international student is around 20,000 Canadian dollar a year.
Cool, amazing. And that's for like undergrad, postgrad, or?
Yeah, that might vary according to if you're doing an undergrad, if you're doing a graduate, if your home country. There's a lot of criteria that might make the tuition different from a person to the other. But let's say that it's more or less 20,000 Canadian dollar a year.
Cool. Next questions here are actually about the admission process. Actually, like, what can you share? Like, how is the admission process? How the application process? Yeah, sorry. Can you share any like details, the steps, or a link where people can go and see more information?
Marine, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah. So you have to apply for each university you want. There is no limit. You don't have like a centralized platform. So like, so you have to apply for each university. Each university has its own criteria. So if you need like an English test or if you need a certain grade, the university will tell you. It's really easy. I mean, the application process that I did, I just went on the university website. You all do it. It's all fully online. I mean, for my experience, I just asked for my grades and, certain level at my final test in high school. But it was really easy. And, people at the university, whenever I had a question, they really answer really fast my question. They're really here to help international students because it's a little bit harder for us because we don't know the system. So yeah, it was pretty easy. I had a great experience doing my admission.
Cool. And yeah, so amazing. Again, guys, I think the first step would be to go to the I Choose Montreal platform, look at the programs, take a look at the options that are out there in terms of institutions for that particular thing that you want to study. And then you can get in touch with those institutions, right, Eugenie? And they'll be able to provide all the details on how to apply for them.
Exactly. And do not remember about the deadlines, guys, because there's some deadlines to apply.
Actually, we did get a question here. I don't remember who asked the name of the person, but there was a question regarding the deadlines to apply for the fall.
It's usually for this year, it's a little too late, sadly, like for September of 2021, 21st. But next year, if you ever think about doing some studies in September next year, it would be, you have to apply early 2022.
Cool. All right, guys, we're getting like a lot of questions here asking if in Montreal, is it possible to study particular programs like medicine, like culinary programs? I just wanted to get into the medical studies because there are some restrictions into that, right?
Yes, it's really complicated and really hard for international students to actually study medicine. It's not impossible in the sense that if you ever think about doing some research related to medicine that is not practical medicine, to be a doctor, for example, that can be doable. But do not hesitate to do some to look into affiliated programs, let's say pharmacy, nursing. These are really great options too, if you can't get in medicine, for example.
Another great question that came up here from Anna May is that she's using I believe this is a term from education in like distance education, which would be like online. Is all the programs offered by the institutions in Montreal, or all of them in like for you to study there, or are there like online programs available as well?
We have a university called TSW. If you're thinking about like online full program, yes, this is an option. But mostly, like usually, you do have to attend the classes and be in person right here with us in Montreal.
Cool. Again, guys, we unfortunately we don't have time to go over all the questions. I see here many questions coming. Diego asking about engineering programs, Anna asking about psychology, Marianne about psychology, architecture. Lots of questions coming up. I want to move again. You can see all the programs available in their platform. I choose Montreal. I am going to ask my team to put it on the chat once more and also on the screen here. But let's move on. Another question that it's quite often it pops up here is about scholarships. What kind of information can you pass on about scholarship, or why can people find this information about scholarships?
Yes, so the scholarships are mostly managed by the educational institutions directly. So once you're admitted, do not hesitate to contact their financial aid office and to ask them and see for what you could be eligible. They're usually merit-based scholarships, so you have to apply. It's like, let's say, a contest of some sort. There's also some scholarships that are managed by the government of Quebec and the government of Canada, so they do exist. We have also a webpage on our website where we can, it's about financial aid for international students, so you should probably look it up. And I would lastly say, do not forget to look into your home countries. We might have some student mobility agreements between our two countries, or even within your educational school. You can probably look up for some agreements with institution in Montreal that is Montreal based.
Yeah, cool, amazing. And again, it's called the thing about scholarships is that it helps like reduce the cost. But another thing that also helps reduce the cost is the opportunity to work while they are studying, right? So we got a question here from Eric. Eric, thanks so much for sending your question. He's asking, what job opportunities are available for students working on campus or off campus? I think he's meaning during the studies, but I also wanted to approach after studies as well.
Marine, do you want to talk about it as you experienced it?
Yes, of course. So one great thing about studying in Montreal is that when you get your student visa, you're allowed to work. So that's really cool. So you can help, finance your studies. You can work up to 20 hours per week during classes, and up to like 40 hours per week, like full time, during official vacation. So that will be like in December, January, and in summer. So right now. So that's really cool. It's so easy to find a job. I mean, even now with COVID, you see a lot of signs saying we are, looking for staff. So like it's really easy to find a job. You can also find a job at your university. I did that. So being like a teaching assistant or a research assistant, which is really cool because, you study and work at the same place. So that's also an option. And to answer the question about after, so that's what I'm doing. So staying in Montreal after your studies to work, it's also really convenient, really easy. You just have to apply for a postgraduate working permit. It's all online. The process is pretty simple. And if you study in Montreal and you did a program, you're eligible for it. So so that allows you to stay and work in Montreal and, for like up to 3 years. And then during these 3 years, if you think you really want to stay in Montreal, like me, forever, then you can apply, for the permanent resident and being a permanent resident of Canada.
Amazing, cool. Thanks, Marine.
We also have some pages on our website if you want to look for more info about the job market, how to find a job, how to prepare your resume, so we have a lot of different advices on our website for you to check out.
We have a very efficient crew here with us today. We already put the link there. I'm going to ask them to also put this link on the chat again, guys. So you can take a look. Save this link, guys, so you don't miss it. I think it will be saved here on the live on YouTube. By the way, we will post this on one of our playlists called the Student World Spotlight. You can check it. If you're not following the Student World, please hit the subscribe button, because every week is a different show here. We're bringing more and more opportunities. Also, if you're not following us on Instagram, I do recommend following us on Instagram, because we're constantly putting content related to studying abroad. Is the go-to place to study abroad information, the student world. Okay, so moving on. Eugenie and Marine, the next question, actually, I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, by the way, just one comment before we move on. The thing that you were saying about being able to apply for a work permit to stay longer, this really sets Canada apart from many popular destinations. The fact that you can get this professional experience and use your degree to get this extra experience and go back to your country if that's what you want after a while, with your CV looking way more brighter, way more attractive. And, it definitely helps you to get a better job when you're back to your country. So very, very good on that. Guys, moving on now to the final question related to this. This topic is the visa information, because as you all know, it is required to get a student visa to study in the Montreal, right? Where can student get the information about the student visas?
So it's all on our webpage. On our website, you can find some information about how to get your CAQ, which is the first step towards the study permit, and also how to get your study permit. There's our two levels here. There's the Quebec level and the federal level, which is Canada. So there's all in there on our website. Also, I think it's pretty, I wouldn't say simple, I wouldn't say easy, but I think one of the advices that I have to give you are some tips, because we're not immigration expert, neither of us, but just follow the steps, follow the deadlines, and make sure to gather all the great documents to cross the border when you get in Canada, and everything's going to be fine.
Cool, amazing. Guys, we're getting close to the end now. The last topic I would like to approach with the two of you is obviously the current situation regarding the pandemic, COVID. Can you share a little bit about what's the situation right now in Montreal? What are the restrictions? How is life there? And also is the question that everybody is asking, which is, are international students allowed into Canada?
Yeah, so I think we're going to end the seminar on a great note, because things are going better by the day. I mean, we're flattening the curve. We have low and always getting lower on the cases. We're also in a vaccination campaign, so everybody's getting the first shot right now, and so the objective is everybody to be vaccinated by June 24th, and I think we're gonna get there all at least once vaccinated. So international students can get in Canada since last October. Already, you have to follow the rules, of course. There's still a quarantine in place, and a little short stay at the hotel. But it's this information can change really quickly and really rapidly, because things are getting better, which is a great news in itself. So what we're saying right now can be different tomorrow. So do not hesitate to see our special page about COVID-19 on our website, and to see the latest measures about that.
Cool. Actually, can you share a little bit about your experience there, Marine, when after all this time with the pandemic, how could you see things changing there?
It's getting better because now we are more and more allowed to see people. We were pretty much allowed to see people like outside, like respecting the distance and everything. So I mean, for me it was fine. It wasn't really a problem, because I did like a lot of online learning for more than a year now, and the teacher at the beginning of the class, they always take a little moment to ask how is everyone, because we are living at home by ourselves. We are also doing like some sort of like online activities so we can like bound. We have a lot of group projects I think for a student, it was pretty good. Like, I mean, the pandemic was okay, maybe a little harder, from some working because you don't have as much as group project and everything. But I mean, my experience was really fine.
Cool. And I did get we got one question here, Eugenie. Not sure if we do have the answer for that, but it's coming from Kyle. He's asking if the students, the international students who will be coming to Canada to study, if they need to have taken the vaccine to be allowed in.
We asked the question lately to the government, and no, it's not an obligation yet. So
cool. All righty. Again, but let's not end this amazing life on this note. I want to end it with a great, two things first. First is what advice can you give to all these 135 amazing people from all over that have been watching us and they're considering going to Montreal? What can you tell them, Marine?
I can say that Montreal is really a good destination for studies. I mean, considering all things together, go on Study Connect, find your program. Do not hesitate to contact the university you like. People will answer you. They're really friendly. I hope I was able to share, my experience, my great experience, my happiness, my joy of being an international student here. I think it's a really great city to study, and I hope to all see you here in a couple of months.
Absolutely. How about you, Eugene?
I would encourage you to look for our website. We have a lot of information for you if you have any doubts, if you want to learn more about the city. We have our website. We also have a page about the steps to follow to Montreal. So please do take a look, and you can write us. I think Carlos is going to share our website with our email address with you, sorry. And we're also active in social medias. So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. So if you have any doubts, questions, you miss us, just write us a little email and we'll answer it with great pleasure.
Amazing. Again, guys, as Eugenie mentioned, her contact information is now on the screen, right? So I'm gonna ask my team to also put it in the chat here, so it's easier for people to copy and paste. If you have information, if you want more information about studying Canada in Montreal, you can contact Eugenie and Marine. The email is right here. Guys, I want to thank you so much for accepting our invitation and joining this episode of the Student World Spotlight. It was such an amazing opportunity to learn more about Montreal. It's such a great place. I actually had the opportunity to be there once and visit a friend. And who, by the way, I think she is watching us right now. I'll say hi to her. But yeah, it was. I really like the city. I can tell. I've been a lot to a lot of places around the world. I do recommend Montreal as a great place to study, to live. So if to all of you that have been with us all these, over 1 hour already, I hope you have found this information useful. I hope we could show you a little bit of this amazing destination. And so thank you so much, Eugenie. Thank you so much, Marine. It was such a pleasure to have you guys here. And come back when you have...
Yes. Thank you, Carlos, for the invitation, and hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Cool. So let me now, let's say bye-bye now, guys, to Eugenie and Marine. Thanks, guys. Thank you. And yeah. And for all of you that have been with us on this 1 hour, over 1 hour now. It's 10 p.m. Here in Amsterdam, guys. I'm based in Amsterdam. Still getting dark right now, thanks to the approach of the summer. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was such a great time. I have to say, you guys were the most engaged audience we've had so far here on the show. Kudos to you. Congratulations by everybody. Marianne, David, Claire, Carla, Rodrigo, Peanut butter, I love that nickname as well. So many people that send their questions. So thank you so much for being so engaged. And we at the Student World are here cheering for you. We want to see you achieve your goal of studying abroad. Again, if you liked what you saw today, please give us your like. It takes one click and it tells us a lot. It's a very valuable feedback. So like our video here, and also browse on the other episodes of this of the Student World live shows we have going on. And yeah, don't forget to follow us also on our Instagram at the Student World. Every day a new content, every day new educational opportunities. And yeah, I had a great time, guys. Thank you so much. Have all a great evening, whatever in the world you are. And I'll see you next time. The Student World, whatever you want to study, we know how to get you there.